Hello, welcome to my first face-to-face video. Who am I? I wanted to share with you my holy grail skincare routine, and it felt like I should have my face in the video to do that. So here we are. These are all items that I've been using for a really long time. One of them is a little newer, I'll tell you about that one, but everything else I've been using for years or a year and love. I have very sensitive, very dry, pale red hair skin. So it's a little hard for me to find skincare products that work well for me. And when I do, I stick to them. I will sometimes try other things and dabble, but these are things that I keep going back to and will always keep going back to. I am kind of a skincare nerd. So I've done a lot of research, I've read books and research articles, watched lots of videos. I've been very into skincare since 2012, maybe. It's 10 years now, because I have such dry skin and it's been really hard for me to feel comfortable, especially in the winter. So I have found the way to do that. Let me share it with you. So the first step is my makeup remover. So I use the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm. And I just use a little bit of this balm, rub it over my face, wash it off, gets all of the sunscreen and skincare and makeup off. And I only use that at night. And it does a really good job of taking everything off, and it's very cheap. I really love the mango cleansing balm. Dang, what is that brand? I'll try to remember to put a photo or something here so y'all know. I love that. It smells so good, but it's pretty expensive for what it does and the ingredients that you need in a cleansing balm. I just don't really want to pay a lot of money for it whenever there's something that works just as well that just doesn't smell as nice. That's more easy to access as well because you have to order that one online. I then have tried lots of cleansers. This one's a little expensive. I have a couple of things that are a little expensive, but it's worth it to me if they work and if it's hard to find something that replicates that. So a cleansing balm, they're kind of the same thing. But some things have really good ingredients that work well for my skin. I also am very sensitive to fragrance, so outside of something that's going to wash off of my body, I try to be pretty fragrance free, and it's hard to find that at times. So I really love though the Tula Cult Classic Purifying Face Cleanser with probiotics and superfoods. It's a little damp from being in my shower because I am naughty and I wash my face in the shower. You're not supposed to do that. It's too hot. So I turn the water to warm when I first get in and wash my face, and then I turn it up. But I love this face wash. It works really well for my dry skin. It's supposed to work really well for oily skin too. I feel it just does a good job of getting my skin clean without overly stripping it, which is hard to find with dry skin because I don't have a lot of oils on there. But I do want to get off the things that need to come off. So this is what works for me. I only use that at night. So I use those two cleansing steps at night. And in the morning, I just use water with my fingers to get anything off my face, but I don't wash my face in the morning. I find that it's too drying to do twice a day. My favorite skincare item of all time is the Great Barrier Relief from Crave Beauty. Y'all, this is so good. So we'll get to this in a second, but I have dabbled in active ingredients. We're talking retinol, we're talking some acids. My skin cannot handle most of them. And when I have tried, I have had really extreme painful reactions where my skin is dry and cracked and broken, and red and irritated. And that happened to me, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago now, and this saved my life, honestly. It fixed my skin. So this repairs your skin's moisture barrier. It works amazingly. I use this at least once a day in the evening right after I get out of the shower. Sometimes I use it more than once a day if my skin's having a hard time. It's really lightweight, so I use that in the summer. Sometimes in the summer if my skin's doing better, I'll use that as my moisturizer because it's moisturizing. But in the winter I layer it with some other things. It's great, honestly. Absolutely recommend. They have changed the packaging. This is the old packaging, And in this one, it's like hard to get out at the end, so I use a splatty patty, maybe is what it's called. I'll try to insert that as well, to get it out, because I want to use all of it. It's a little expensive. It's not like insanely expensive, worth it. And I order like a bunch of them at a time because you have to order it directly from their website. So speaking of actives, again, I cannot handle most actives. They say that the most important anti-aging step is sunscreen, so I do wear sunscreen. Cannot do any type of retinol. I've tried so many, but I have for a couple of weeks now. This is still like pretty new. This is the only thing that isn't like tried and true holy grail to me, but I wanted to mention it. I got the Allies of Skin, very expensive. I got this new in the package from somebody on Macari. You can find it on Poshmark or eBay or something too. But that's what honestly I do with a lot of things that are a little expensive. But this is the Mandelic Acid Pigmentation Corrector Night Serum. I have a little bit of pigmentation, but not super bad. But it has mandelic, lactic, and salicylic acid, bakuchiol, which is a retinol alternative, and a few other great ingredients. And I only use a couple of little pumps, put that on my skin after this, and I'm finding that the sandwich method, where you put like actives between moisturizing ingredients or products, has helped protect my skin a little bit. I'm only using this like once or twice a week, but I do feel like it's helping to even out my skin texture, which is what acids often do. So it's really lightly exfoliating, and then it has the bakuchiol, which is supposed to be anti-aging. So I like it so far. Again, this is the only new product to me, and it's the most expensive for sure. But again, whenever you've tried like all of the things on the market and nothing works, sometimes it's worth it to spend a little bit more money. I recommend trying to find those things cheaper if you're able to. My favorite moisturizer of all time is the Skin Fix Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream. This has the like fun top where you like press this down, and they recently changed it where you can put in like different pods, so you don't have to get like the whole new container every time. That's a little cheaper, much better for the environment. And this is honestly like the best moisturizer I've ever used. In pairing with this, it keeps my skin from getting super dry in the winter. I had run out of this and was just using this in like a cheap moisturizer from the grocery store, and got like some red irritated patches on my skin, and then I got this again and they're gone. So this does seem to be like really effective in helping my skin stay hydrated. I live in Colorado. It's very, very dry here, so drinking lots of water and using lots of moisturizing ingredients helps me get through the winter with my very dry skin. Love that. I've been using that for years. Most importantly, of all of the things, this is my favorite product, but this is the most important product, is my sunscreen. And I use the Supergoop Unscreen Sunscreen. It's hard to say. SPF 40. This is my like day-to-day sunscreen. I put it on in the morning. I rinse my face off with water. If I need to, I put on some of this. And then I put on my sunscreen. And I have one that I keep in my bag that I try to remember to put on in the middle of the day. I don't always do that, but you're supposed to do that. I have a genetic predisposition for skin cancer, so it's really important that I be using sunscreen. And if you're using any kind of active ingredient, any kind of retinol or acid, you definitely need to be using sunscreen. It's also, I've heard many dermatologists and people say that it's not even worth your money to be using active ingredients if you're not using sunscreen, because the sun ages you much more than any of those things can like prevent or work through. I love this one. It's a really great texture. It's like clear, and kind of like a jelly texture, so it doesn't leave any white cast. I've tried so many sunscreens, so many, and I've hated them all, and I've just like pushed through because I need to wear sunscreen until this, and now I don't hate wearing sunscreen. So love it, would recommend. So that's like my face skincare routine. I wanted to mention some bonus things in case anyone else out there has really dry, sensitive skin, such as I also get eczema, like especially on my arms and legs in the winter. And since I've started using the Vanicream moisturizing lotion, I've not had any eczema for like 2 or 3 years now. Get this at Target, you can get it on Amazon. They have one that's thicker that comes with like a bigger top, and I was using that at first, and it's like a little annoying because I put it on whenever I get out of the shower and then my skin's like real sticky for a long time. This absorbs much better, the thinner one, but it's not quite as moisturizing. So I don't know, if I got a little bit more eczema, I probably would get the thicker one again just for like those periods of time. But this is a great day-to-day moisturizer. It's like the most basic moisturizer lotion that you can get, and no like irritating ingredients or fragrances. Works great for my skin. And then lastly, I wanted to mention, I have worked in a hospital and I'm going back to work in a hospital soon, and you use a lot of hand sanitizer when you're in the hospital, and that makes me get really rough, cracked, painfully dry hands, especially in the winter. And this is amazing for that. It's called Gloves in a Bottle, and it basically like coats your hands. So even when you're using hand sanitizer or washing your hands, a little bit of it stays on there. And so I use it still a couple times a day, but I don't need to use it in between like every patient's room. And it really helped with my dry skin, especially last winter when I was working in the hospital. I found it to be amazing. So those are my sensitive, dry skin, holy grails, and one new thing to me. But everything else, tried and true, love them. Let me know if you try any of these things, if you like them, or if you have already tried them, or if you have any other recommendations for dry and sensitive skin, such as I. Please give this video a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.